Hey guys, today I have a Samsung matching washer and electric dryer set. These two have been cleaned inside and out, thoroughly tested, and I'm doing one last load here on video so you can see that everything's working perfect. I always do a video of everything I list up for sale. That way you know when you get home, plug it in, you'll be good to go. So you got it's actually a pretty heavy load of towels in there. It still doesn't even look like this thing is full. It's king size capacity. But that's actually one of the biggest loads that I wash, and it is right now sensing the load, and it's going to add water. And you'll see one thing that's really nice about the Samsung HE machines is it does use full submersion with water, so it doesn't skimp on the water usage, and it's got a nice fast smooth final spin cycle as well, which I'll show you. Of course I go through and check everything, make sure the shocks and bearings and all that stuff are good, especially on these Samsungs. And I'll show you a little tip once we move the clothes over to the dryer on how you can make sure your shocks are good to go on your washing machine. And then over here we have the electric dryer, and I'll just open that up here. It's all nice, cleaned out, ready to rock. It also has a perfect time to show off this shoe rack. So if you're someone who washes and dries your shoes, all you have to do is just put this in like that, and it sits down like that. Then you can put your shoes up here, and it runs. Let me show you how that works. Just hit start here. So then it runs. Your shoes go in the middle there, and then the heat is blowing up and through. It actually comes out of that vent there, and it comes down and gets sucked in like right here on the dryer, which is where the lint trap is at. So the air, hot air, goes right over the shoes and down under them. So it's actually a really efficient way for you to dry your shoes. Your lint trap is right here. Just want to make sure that gets cleaned out before each load. And so that's the electric dryer, and once the clothes are all done, we'll move them over so you can hear how it's running in the dryer. And I've got a temperature gun. I'll show you that the heat and all that's working on the dryer. But first we'll go ahead with this washer. I'm going to let that fill up, and we will come back and show off it doing its agitation. Okay, so it's moving into the wash cycle. It has filled all the way up, and like I said, does not skimp on water usage. And so how this one works, the Samsungs are kind of interesting. It has the agitation plate on the bottom, and as that starts to agitate, it draws the clothes in and down the middle along the plate on the bottom, and agitates also amongst themselves, and then up out the side, and it kind of does this vortexing pattern. And this will switch up. Right now it's just doing really small pulses, just kind of getting things started, but then it'll switch to faster and longer pulses. So the idea of how these get clean in a machine like this where there's no center agitator, it's the same as a front load washer, whereas when that spins around and around, those clothes are just falling on themselves, and that's how they agitate. They agitate against themselves. Same idea here, the clothes are agitating against themselves to get clean, but you also have the plate on the bottom. And so it's kind of almost like a dual action versus just a front loader where it just simply spins around and the clothes tumble on themselves. So that's how these washers worked. If you've ever wondered how your clothes are getting clean without a center agitator, that's how it works. And the Samsungs do a really good job since they use the full submersion of water there. And that, like I said, is actually a pretty heavy load of towels there. You could fit more than that in there. However, you wouldn't want to overload it. That's probably where I would call it quits. Maybe just a couple more towels. It could definitely handle it. But, you know, longevity-wise, I think about 3/4 the way full. So we're going to let it kind of continue to move through the wash cycle, and we'll come back and show you that the drain works and all that before we get into the final spin cycle. Okay, we're moving out of the wash cycle, into the rinse cycle, and it's draining that water out nice and fast. You can hear it draining there. The back. And you got your little indicator there showing you that we are moving into the rinse cycle. So we'll let that water drain out, and we'll come back. It's just about got all that water drained out. It's kind of self-leveling, balancing as it goes through, and this spin for the rinse spin will get up to speed, but right now it's kind of speeding up, slowing down, speeding up, slowing down as the water's been draining out to make sure everything's balanced and level. So it's got a self-balancing act it does here. Okay, now it's getting up to speed. It's nice and balanced. You can hear the drain still running, so it's doing a really good job extracting all the soapy used water before it fills back up with fresh water for the rinsing. One thing that's also nice about this particular Samsung top loader is the way the motor's set up. It's a magnetized motor, so it's not the old style with the belt and all that. It's a magnetized motor with a rotor on it. And the cool thing about that, what I really like about that, is once it's done spinning out and it's time to stop, it actually has brakes and it can come to a stop pretty fast. So you're not spinning. It used to be you'd spend quite a bit of time, at least I do, testing them anyway, waiting for it to stop spinning. Just spin forever until it finally slows down enough that it stops and unlocks the lid. This particular one here will actually hit the brakes, come to a stop very quickly, and unlock the lid. Something I appreciate anyway, so I thought I'd mention it. But as you can see, still continuing to get going faster, perfectly level, balanced, nice and quiet. And the really nice thing about how fast these spin out, and I'll show you once it's all done, is how light those clothes are going to be when they come out of there. It's a part of the HE designation. See, this thing uses full water, but it has an HE designation because it's going to cut your drying time in half, getting the clothes that light. So it's coming to a stop now. I try not to make these videos too long. If you want to skip ahead, go for it, but I also like to show off some of these cool features. You see it's applying the brakes there. It obviously can't come to too fast of a stop. It would throw it off balance, but that's a pretty quick stop for a washer. Boom. And now it moves right into filling back up with water for the rinse. So I'm going to let it go through all that, fill back up, agitate again, and then I'll come back when it has just about 3 or 4 minutes left in the final spin, which will be its fastest. Be probably just as fast, maybe a little bit faster than what we just saw, because I do have it set all the way to high. If you have blankets or really big bath towels or something, you'd probably want to go on a low or medium spin. The bigger, bulkier the item, the slower you actually want it to go on the spin cycle. So just a little tip there. We're actually waiting on that washer to finish up. I am going to show you real quick that this is drying with heat like it's supposed to. So I've got my temperature gun here, and on top of this dryer it's coming at about 71 degrees. If I shoot it down here on the ground, it is about 61 degrees. So you see a little colder down there. Let me go ahead and open this up. Shoot it right inside the heating element tube. So plenty of heat coming out of the tube there. Your heating element's kind of down here. Heat comes up, circulates with your clothes, and then goes right into this panel here, down and out the back of your dryers. How this particular machine works. That's why it's super important. You want to make sure this is always clean before each load, so you have a real nice good airflow there. But yeah, now you know the heat is working perfect, and I'll still show you what it looks and sounds like with the clothes tumbling in there, but I thought we'd knock that out since I'm just waiting on that washer here. Okay, we got 5 minutes left. Spinning super fast. It's been spinning this fast for about 3 minutes. Not sure it's gonna go faster than that. That's pretty fast. But just in case, I wanted to catch it here in case it slows down and does a couple little final spin outs, which sometimes they do. But as you can see, sounds great. Nice smooth operation. And we'll let that go ahead and finish up. Okay, we are all finished up. And just to show you how light these clothes are super light. All right, let me toss those over into the dryer now, and you'll get to see that with those clothes tumbling. All right, so we've got those clothes loaded up in the dryer, and we'll hit go. Of course, the dryer will be a little bit quieter once you have the vent hose on the back. It muffles out that blower motor sound. I don't know if you can see that, but you can see everything tumbling nice and fast. We already know it's heating like it's supposed to. And now we know it's nice, quiet. Sounds great. Just to show you that washer, huge capacity on the washer there. Fit just about anything you want in there. That's gonna do it for this video, guys. Sorry it's a little bit longer, a little bit more to show off on this set here, but we'll go ahead and get it listed up for sale. If you have any questions at all, feel free to reach out. Thanks, you guys have a great day.